Welcome to BYK Expert Lecture Series 2020-21. I am Jayashree Joshi from BYK College of Commerce, Nasik. Dear students, in last lecture we saw internal assessment, that is ABT, application based test, which is for 20 marks. Now let us see the written exam paper, which is for 80 marks. You can see on the screen subject secretarial practice, time 3 hours, marks 80, and note all questions are compulsory. Total 8 questions are there because this is new paper pattern. Second, figures to the right indicate full marks for the question. Third, figures to the left indicate question numbers. And fourth, and important, answer to every question must be started on a new page. Let us start with this lecture. Question number first, A. Select the correct option and rewrite the sentence. In last lecture, we discussed how to write the objectives. Correct? Now, our first sentence, debenture certificate must be issued within dash of allotment of debentures. And answer is, options are there, first 3 months, B 6 months, and C 60 days. What is the answer? 6 months. Then depositors are dash of a company. You all know that answer, correct? What is the answer? Creditors. Depositors are creditors of the company. Then dividend is recommended by dash. Managing director, secretary, and board of director. And answer is board of directors. Then Depository Act was passed in dash. And answer is 1996. This is the important sentence. Depository Act was passed in 1996. Then refers dash refers to the excess of current assets over current liabilities. And answer is working capital refers to the excess of current assets over current liabilities. Then question number 1B, give one word or phrase or term. A specific place where trading of securities is arranged in an organized method. And answer is share market. But you can write stock exchange also. That answer is also correct. Write full sentences and then write the answer. Don't write only answers. Second sentence is, the meeting where financial dividend is declared. Which meeting? Annual general meeting. Next, the agent of the depository. Who is the agent? Depository participant. Then, debentures which can be converted into equity shares. Convertible debentures. Next, agreement between company and deposit trustee. Answer is deposit trust deed. Correct? Then, question number 1C, state true or false. First, corporate finance brings coordination between various business activities? And answer is, this statement is true. Next, bonus shares means capitalization of reserve fund. And answer is true. Next sentence, physical mode of holding securities is risky. And this statement is true. Next, debenture holders have no voting rights. And this statement also true. Then, floor price is the highest bid price under book building method. And this statement is false. Now, question number 1, D. Match the pairs. In match the pairs, certain options are similar. Therefore, read carefully and select the answer. In group A, there are 5 points, and in group B, there are 10 points. Now see, in group A, first capital budgeting, and you see in group B which points are similar, and you may get confused. There are investment decision and financing decision. If you study hard, then you can write correct answer. And answer is capital budgeting, investment decision. Second, B, debenture certificate, and answer is instrument of debt. Then financial market, and answer is trading of financial securities. Next, regret letter, and answer is non-allotment of shares. Next, private company, and answer is 100% aggregate of paid up share capital plus free reserve. In question number first, A for 5 marks, B for 5 marks, C 5 marks, and D also 5 marks. Total question number first is 20 marks. Now we will see question number 2. Explain the following terms or concepts. Any 4 out of 6. Correct? Now we will see fixed capital, investment decision, flowing back of profit, private placement, ESOS, and credit rating. Correct? Now, for your you have to write any 4 out of 6. For your understanding, I am explaining all the 6. First, fixed capital. Fixed capital is the capital which is used for buying fixed assets. These assets are not for resales. What is the example of fixed capital? Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, etc. Now, second, investment decision. Once the business firm has gained access to capital, the finance manager has to take decision regarding the use of the funds in systematic manner so that it will bring maximum return for its owners. Firm can use the funds in such a way that returns are more than cost of capital, and finding investments and deploying them successfully in the business is known as investing decision. You can see the PPT. How to answer you can write. Next, third, plowing back of profit. A part of net profit which is not distributed to shareholders. See, a part of net profit which is not distributed to shareholders as dividend is retained by a company in the form of reserve fund. Company converts and capitalizes its profit. This capitalization of profit by issue of bonus shares is known as plowing back of profit. Correct? Understood? Then next, private placement. When a company offers its securities to a select group of persons, not to the general public, it is called as private placement. Do you know what is securities? Securities means shares, bonds, debentures, etc. Company offers its securities only to a selected group, not to the general public. Okay? Then ESOS. A company can raise funds by offering shares to its existing employees. That is ESOS, ESPS, SARS and sweat equity shares. Now, what is the ESOS? ESOS means Employees Stock Option Scheme. Under this scheme, permanent employees, directors or officers of the company or its holding company or subsidiary company are offered the benefit or right to purchase the equity shares of the company at a future date at a predetermined price. Who can take benefit of this scheme? Who can take? Permanent employees, directors, officers, holding company and subsidiary company. Correct? This scheme encourages employees as they feel proud to be owners of the company. Correct? Then now credit rating. We saw the details of this concept for last lecture. Do you remember? SEBI Regulations 2018 states that companies should get credit rating for issuing debentures. Correct? Okay. Now question number 3. Study the following case or situation and express your opinion. Any 2 out of 3. The case is, see, ABC Company Limited decides to pay interim dividend. Case is ABC Company Limited decides to pay interim dividend. Now, do you know what is interim dividend? Dividend declared by the board of directors between 2 annual general meetings is called interim dividend. If you study the features of interim dividend, then you know all the answers. Who has the power to declare interim dividend? Board of directors. Correct? Now our question is, see, can it be paid out of free reserve? Interim dividend cannot be paid out of free reserve. Interim dividend is only a payment on account of the whole dividend for the year. Then second question is the board right in declaring the same at the board meeting? Yes, the board is right in declaring interim dividend at the board meeting. The board meeting has to pass resolution for declaring the interim dividend. Okay? Then our third question is, can the company distribute the same within 30 days of its declaration? Yes. Interim dividend is required to be distributed by the company within 30 days of its declaration. Understood? Now, second case is the balance sheet of Donald Company for the year 2018-19 reveals equity share capital of rupees 25 lakh and retained earning of rupees 50 lakh. Read the case carefully. The balance sheet of Donald Company for the year 2018-19 reveals equity shares capital of rupees 25 lakh and retained earning of rupees 50 lakh. Correct? Now, do you know what is equity share capital? Capital provided by the shareholders in a company is called own capital. Correct? And the own capital consists of equity share capital. And Donald Company reveals equity share capital of rupees 25 lakh for the year 2018-19 and retained earning of rupees 50 lakh. Now, what is the retained earning? Do you know? Retained earning is an important form of own capital. It refers to reinvestment of profit in the business by the company itself. Correct? Now, our question is the company financially sound? And answer is, a Donald Company is financially sound because retained earnings is double of equity share capital. Correct? And second question is, can the retained earning be converted into capital? Yes. The retained earning can be converted into share capital by issuing bonus shares to equity shareholders. Understood? Okay. Then third question is, what type of source retained earning is? You know this answer. Correct? Retained earning is an internal source raising long-term finance. Now, our third case is Seema Limited Company's capital structure is made up of rupees 1 lakh equity shares having face value of rupees 10 each. See, Seema Limited Company's capital structure is made up of rupees 1 lakh equity shares having face value of rupees 10 each. The company has offered to the public 40,000 equity shares, and out of this the public has subscribed for 30,000 equity shares. This is our case. Now, in this case, the question is asked, authorized capital. How much authorized capital? What do you mean by authorized capital? Do you know? The maximum capital which is authorized by memorandum of association that a company can raise by issuing shares is called authorized capital. And authorized capital is calculated considering the requirements of capital of a company at present and in future. And authorized capital of Seema Limited is rupees 10 lakhs made of 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. as per the capital structure of the company. Correct? Now, subscribed capital. Do you know what is subscribed capital? Subscribed capital is that part of issued capital which has been subscribed by investors, and the public may or may not subscribe for the entire issued capital. And subscribed capital of the Seema company is rupees 3 lakh, made by 30,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, subscribed by shareholders. Okay? Now, issued capital. Seema company issued 40,000 shares to the public. 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. So, issued capital of the company is rupees 4 lakh. Correct? Now, question number 4. Distinguish between. You have to write any 3 out of 4. Each distinguish have 4 marks. See, money market and capital market, dematerialization and rematerialization, transfer of shares and transmission of shares, and equity shares and preference shares. Now, we will see money market and capital market. You have to write minimum 5 points. You draw the 3 columns. First point is meaning. Correct? Meaning, money market is a market for lending and borrowing of funds for short term. It is a market wherein lending and borrowing of funds take place for a short period of time. Then, what is capital market? It is the market for borrowing and lending long-term capital required by business enterprises. You should write 5 to 6 points, that is time period, then instruments, then institutions, risk, return on investment, etc. Then we will see dematerialization and rematerialization. What is dematerialization? It is a process whereby a client can get physical certificates converted into electronic mode. And rematerialization? It is the process whereby a client can get his electronic holding of securities converted into physical certificates. You see the PPT. You should write meaning, conversion, then use of form. Use of form means DRF, dematerialization request form, RRF, rematerialization request form, then sequence, identification of securities, difficulty of process. Demat is an easy process, correct? It is not a time consuming process, but remat is not only a time consuming but also a complex process. Now, transfer of shares and transmission of shares. First point is meaning. Transfer of shares means voluntary transfer of shares by a member of a company in favor of another person. A member may transfer the shares for consideration or give it away as gift. Transmission of shares. Transmission of shares take place due to operation of law. That is, the shares of a member is automatically transferred to another person on the death, insolvency of a member. It is an involuntary action. You have to write nature of action, parties involved, consideration, stamp duty, etc. Then equity shares and preference shares. All of you know that the meaning of equity shares and preference shares. Equity shares, these shares which are not preference shares are called equity shares. These shares do not have preferential right for payment of dividend and repayment of capital. And preference shares have certain preferential rights as to payment of dividend and repayment of capital. Tell me rate of dividend. In equity shares, equity shareholders get dividend at fluctuating rate and preference shareholders get dividend at fixed rate. In this distinguish, so many points are there, but you can write 5 to 6 points. Understood? In next Monday, we will take question number 5, 6, 7 and 8. Thank you.